With all this bad news that's been going on around Robinhood recently, I know I can't be the only one that's thinking about maybe they're going to be acquired or maybe somebody might try to come in and buy this company. Well, in case I am, I'm going to put that thought process on your radar. And today I'm going to talk about why I think Robinhood could actually be a really good acquisition target and give you 3 companies that I think might be the ones to actually purchase this company should that opportunity come around. So let's get the intro out of the way and we'll start talking about this. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name's Matt, and for once I don't have to give a disclosure on advice because we're just talking today. This has nothing to do with specific stocks. But keep in mind, if you like this video, it is a 5-cent donation to charity, and if you subscribe because you haven't already, that is a 10-cent donation to charity, and I'll pop those numbers up so you can see how far we've made it, something I'm doing throughout the year of 2021. So as we all know, Robinhood is not necessarily getting the best attention right now, and a lot of people are very frustrated with their platform. Now, I think we should all remember that Robinhood actually was a pretty revolutionary thing towards the investing industry. They were the first ones, at least the first ones that I recall, that allowed for everybody to have free stock trades. I know when I was working in finance, there was times that I saw people paying $20 to place a trade on a stock, meaning that would have to go up at least $20 for that trade to even be worth it for you. They also allowed for us smaller people to get started investing in stocks relatively easily. Now, $0 accounts has been around for a while, but there were many firms at the time that still required at least a $5,000, $10,000, sometimes even a $25,000 initial deposit to actually get started investing with them. So the roots of Robinhood are very beneficial, especially to the younger or newer investor that doesn't quite have as much wealth built up as some older people who have been able to invest for a lot longer might have. But that said, we have been able to experience a few flaws in Robinhood's system. First off, the way they make money is very complicated with the trading volume, so I'm not really going to touch on that. But they also make money through margin loans and also through like credit card interests or debit card cash management interests that they charge. And those two are fine. The margin loans, though, is also one of the things that gets me because I do believe that's part of the reason why they made margin trading so easily accessible for relatively inexperienced investors. A lot of firms have like a capital requirement or an investing experience requirement before they give you a margin loan, where Robinhood was basically like, hey, click this button and pay us $5 a month through Robinhood Gold and we'll give you a $5,000 loan. So I think that could be a problem for them. The other thing too is we've seen this company have many issues with their platform in the past, aside from this whole GameStop and AMC thing going on. I know I can recall at least 2 days where there was like a blackout with their platform or where people couldn't access their accounts, which is not a good thing. Now, many firms do experience outages. I know when I was working in finance, they happen very rarely and only lasted maybe an hour or so, but to have them go out for an entire day or more is pretty absurd. Now, I would not have wanted to work at Robinhood when that was going on because I can only imagine the calls that you were getting at that point in time, but that's besides the point. They also had that like glitch thing going on where somebody figured out that there was a way to get like infinite money through Robinhood. Now that's something that I have never heard of happening at another firm. So this company has been in the news before and it's usually not for the right reasons. So that is something that also they need to work on, but I think that's part of what might make them a good acquisition target. Also, and kind of the last reason here is a lot of people are leaving Robinhood right now. And I think a lot of people have lost their trust or faith in this company. And that's absolutely essential for a company that handles other people's money because you want to be able to trust where your funds end up. And a lot of people don't feel like they can trust Robinhood anymore, and rightfully so. And the downside to that is the longer it takes for Robinhood to earn our trust back, which is not going to be an easy task, the harder it's going to be for people to want to go back to their platform. So that leads me to think that maybe one of the best options here that Robinhood has is to be acquired or maybe get rid of their name and put that name underneath somebody else's, so that way they do have that ability of gaining the user's trust back. With that said though, let's go ahead and talk about the 3 companies that I think might be potential buyers for Robinhood if that opportunity were to come around. So the first company that I believe might be a potential buyer of Robinhood is Square. Now, many of us are familiar with Square and that they own Cash App. Now, Cash App recently has launched their own trading platform as well. So they seem to already have that kind of platform and are looking to gain more market share of people that are looking for a new trading platform. Right now, Cash App has around 2.5 million users or active users for their trading platform, and Robinhood sits around 13 million active users. So obviously Robinhood is much larger, but when you're in a space that again is pretty cluttered already, it could be really important for them to maybe consider an acquisition to help grow that customer base and just make sure that they are gaining as much market share as they can. I would also imagine that Cash App and Robinhood probably have a very similar customer base. Cash App, to my knowledge, also allows for people who might not have as much money to open up a traditional bank account to at least have a banking feature, maybe write checks or hold cash in a place or receive check payments through that. And Robinhood kind of took on a similar task when they said, hey, you don't have a lot of money, that's fine, we'll take you on. Also, by the way, we have free trading. So I feel like a lot of people, probably around my age, use both Cash App and Robinhood already for these services. So combining the two could actually help Square grow significantly as a business and would add about 13 million more customers to their platform. Square is also by far the largest company that I'm going to talk about here, so that would make this acquisition a little bit easier for them to accomplish than the other two that I'll talk about later. And also, it looks like people are actually already headed to Cash App's trading platform from Robinhood. I saw a news article that talked about that, and sounds like it's already headed in that direction, so might as well just, get it while you can and bring everybody else on over and kind of help them out a little bit. But again, I'm not sure. And actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I'm kind of thinking maybe PayPal would be another one that could purchase Robinhood because, to my knowledge, PayPal does not have a trading platform, but they have Venmo, Square has Cash App. So maybe if they did add a trading platform to Venmo, it would really stiffen up that competition that's already pretty stiff between Square and PayPal. The next company is SoFi. Now, some of you may have heard of this company. I'm sure a lot of you have, but it's not as common as Square. So SoFi stands for social finance. It started as, I believe, a way for alumni to assist recent graduates with their student loans. I think basically if they could afford it, they would allow for the alumni to give the loan to the recent grad, and then the recent grad would pay the alumni back with the interest payment. So kind of a win-win for both parties. Now, SoFi is actually in the process of going public through a SPAC, and it's one that I'm very excited about, so stay tuned for that video as well. Now, I could really take both sides to this argument here, and I could see where people might think that now is not the best time for SoFi to take on such a large acquisition because they are going public. You don't really need to throw a wrench into what they already have going on, but at the same time, this might be a good use of the money that they'll be raising through this acquisition or through this going public. Now, SoFi also has their own trading platform, and again, very similar to Robinhood, where they do allow for you to hold like cryptocurrencies, fractional shares, stocks, ETFs, but their customer base is significantly smaller, so that might be a good way to help really grow SoFi. Now, I do have experience using SoFi, not their trading platform. At one point, my student loans were handled by them, and I really enjoyed the experiences that I had with SoFi. And again, I think we're still kind of focusing on that same market. Again, as I said, I had them from student loans. A lot of people that use Robinhood are recent grads, maybe a little bit older or even younger for that matter. So I think that it would be, again, a pretty seamless transition, and SoFi is a really great company. So I think that they would be able to turn the direction that Robinhood was headed in into a more positive or viewed as a more positive direction. So that's one, again, not as realistic as Square or now PayPal acquiring them, but one that I could definitely see being talked about or on the table for a potential buyer. And lastly, this one, fairly unrealistic, but I wanted to mention it, would be Barstool. That's right, El Prez, Davey Day Trades, whatever you want to call him, because a lot of people have been saying for him, they should say, hey, Barstool should start their own brokerage. Now, that hits on what I was saying earlier. I think this is already a pretty crowded space, and I don't really think there's a need for yet another trading platform out there. But if Barstool were to acquire Robinhood, that would take care of my worry, and they would once again be able to kind of match the same client market or a target market with clients. I don't really know the right word for that. So I don't think that's possible because Barstool is, relatively speaking, still a smaller company, and this would be a huge purchase for a company like Barstool. But it would be really entertaining to see Prez Dave Portnoy owning his own trading platform. As we all know, he got really big into trading when quarantine started, so I'm sure the idea would entertain him. Maybe if any of you that see this video work for Barstool or know Dave, maybe throw the idea on his radar. Send him this video and see what his thoughts are, because I think that'd be kind of fun to watch, but again, maybe not as realistic as Square. And again, don't take this like personally, but Barstool's really big into gambling, and sometimes investing does feel like gambling, so the two of them kind of go hand in hand with each other. So, I mean, it does leave it a possibility for Barstool maybe to acquire Robinhood. But that's kind of all my thoughts here. So again, kind of a random video. I just wanted to give you my thoughts, and this is really just me spitballing. I really don't have anything written down for it, but I'd love to hear what you think about this acquisition. Do you think maybe it would be something beneficial for Robinhood, or do you think that they should try to stick it out and rebuild their own reputation? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave that in a comment down below. If you like this video, remember, 5-cent donation for charity. I'm working on the charity that I'll donate it to, and I'll probably talk about that on my Watch This Wednesday video, so stay tuned for that. And 10-cent donation for charity. If you haven't subscribed already, just hit the subscribe button and you will donate 10 cents. That goes a long way. And that account has already been growing pretty quickly, so thank you to all of you who have taken the time to like it, even if you don't watch the video, just for the donation. It really means a lot, and I'm hoping that this will all add up to go a pretty long way for someone. That said, I'm going to wrap up here because I had no intentions of making a video today, and I still have a lot to do, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, and I really appreciate that. But I'll let you go ahead, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.